Ooh, I don't want to come up on that in the middle of the night.
This is the head of Serpent Mound, and there's the Blair and the Piper.
I think that's one of the best ones you can see. So if you've seen that one, and we've seen the marching bear mounds, like I've seen enough
You're
mounds.
mounded up?
I'm mounded out.
Can you wiggle your hips like that, Will?
The hip cradle. I'd have to know how to spell a lot better than I do, though.
And spell backwards.
Oh yeah, you're right. Whew. No, I wouldn't survive. No one would buy my paper.
Blair has made me drive 38 miles on a broken engine. One more interesting fact or thing that I have not yet done prior to this, but will do going forward, is welcome back, adventurers. Today we're stepping back in time to explore the incredible Hopewell Cultural National Historic Park, nestled in the heart of Ohio. Good morning.
Good morning. Ooh. Beautifully crafted sculpture. I don't want to come up on that in the middle of the night. American Indian face from the Middle Woodland period. A rare opportunity to see the Ohio Hopewell people through their own eyes. That's neat, though. You gotta put your metal detector away.
What?
I couldn't bring her metal detector.
Oh, yeah?
Nope.
This park is home to some of the most impressive earthworks and mounds in North America, built by the ancient Hopewell people over 2,000 years ago. As we wander through this historic site, it's awe-inspiring to imagine the intricate societies that once thrived here. Next, we made our way to Serpent Mound, another incredible prehistoric site. You might recognize it from Graham Hancock's Netflix documentary, Ancient Apocalypse. This massive serpent-shaped mound stretches over 1,300 feet and is an extraordinary example of ancient earthwork. This is the head of Serpent Mound, and there's the Blair and the Piper. All right, Blair, tell me what you think about Serpent Mound.
I've seen one mound. I've seen them all at this point.
But that mound was cool.
That was a cool mound.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Compared to all the others. But it is neat that they built all that stuff without any excavator equipment.
Yeah, just some buckets and shells and hard labor.
Yeah.
Yep. I think that's one of the best ones you can see. So if you've seen that one, and we've seen the marching bear mounds, like I've seen enough
You're
mounds.
mounded up?
I'm mounded out.
So we continued our journey to the Charles Young Buffalo Soldiers National Monument. This site honors the remarkable life and legacy of Colonel Charles Young, an African-American military officer and civil rights leader. Walking through the monument, we learned about Colonel Young's incredible achievements and his enduring impact on the fight for equality and justice in America.
It's a beautiful house.
It
They
is a
did a
beautiful
very
house.
good job of restoring it.
What'd you learn?
He had quite the military career.
Sure did.
34 years of service, aside from 1 year where he was medically retired before they
Recalled him?
And can you just his single life, just his single generation had at least 4 wars that they were sent to battle for. And that doesn't include the minor conflicts.
Yeah.
I can't imagine going through World War I and then 40 years later, 30 years later? It was 17 to 41.
Yeah.
You're going back to another world war, and you're like, what is going on? We just did this.
Yeah.
Let's load them on up. Good girl.
From there, we set our sights on Dayton, Ohio, home to the Dayton Aviation Heritage National Historic Park. This park celebrates the pioneering spirit of the Wright brothers and the birthplace of aviation. Exploring the park, we marveled at the ingenuity and determination that launched humanity into the skies. Can you wiggle your hips like that, Will?
The hip cradle.
Blair, I think you would enjoy having a printing press.
I think I would enjoy the meticulous nature of it.
Yeah.
Either that or I'd just get really frustrated because it took so much time.
Yeah.
I'd have to know how to spell a lot better than I do, though.
And spell backwards.
Oh, yeah, you're right. Whew. No, I wouldn't survive. No one would buy my paper.
How hard was it?
It's a little bit of drag.
Are you ready to eject?
Are you ready to eject? Gosh, the ejection seat test. Can you imagine?
From there, we headed down towards Cincinnati, and on our way, we encountered a little bit of trouble with the truck. Blair has made me drive 38 miles on a broken engine. We were just going down the highway, normal diesel exhaust filter fault. So it could be a number of things. It could be a diesel exhaust fluid pump. It could be
upcoming traffic ahead due to
Yes.
a hazard. You're
I see
still on
it.
the fastest route.
it could be a clogged filter. I mean the nozzle, the clogged nozzle, spray nozzle. It could be a bad O2 sensor. It could be a disconnected wire. I thought maybe the float in there showing the gauge was faulty, but I went and filled up with the fluid, so that's good. The one or two problems we've ever had with this truck, one was the panoramic sunroof, two was the diesel particulate filter. It clogged on us very early on. We were towing in Yellowstone National Park, and the whole truck just quit working. They had to do a manual regen, which basically they run the RPMs up super high, and it just does that for a while, and it blows out everything because it gets so hot, it just clears all that out. Well, I had that done a number of times, and then right after the warranty period ended, so 80-something thousand miles, I had the same thing happen again, and they told me I had to get a new diesel particulate filter. So I said, well, I've had all these issues with this thing. Here's all of my service records, because I didn't realize this at the time, but that Ford dealership couldn't talk to every other Ford dealership we'd been to around the country. So thankfully I kept all my service records, because they were going to charge me the whatever $3,500 of what it was to put a new diesel particulate filter on there. Anyway, I gave them all the receipts. They contacted Ford. Ford paid for it and put me a new filter on. Since then, I've had no issues. Do you know of any?
Nope.
And it's been fine until right now. So we got 11 miles to go till we go into what's called limp mode. Basically, where you're limited to 50 miles per hour. And we'll see what happens. I don't know. I have been using Ford and near Bayless. Get over yourself. I've been using the engine brake quite a bit lately, and we were in some hills today. Maybe that's a thing. We've been towing pretty much every day, nonstop, for the last 6 weeks. I don't know. Seems like we towed somewhere almost every day in the last 6 weeks, minus just a handful of days. So I use the engine brake all the time towing because it saves wear and tear on the actual brakes. That could be it. I don't know. As soon as we get parked at the campground tonight, I'll go check a few things, but it's also raining, which makes always things fun. But we're not broken down. We're not stuck. Still a good day. It's just one of those things. So we'll see what it is. Hopefully it's something simple. And there have been a few people we've seen online and through message boards and things like that that it cleared itself after some time. There's a couple tricks you can try, like like I said, check all the sensors, disconnect the battery, let the whole thing reset itself. But anyway, that's all I know at the moment. More to follow. Blair had to fly to work, so I took the reins and got the truck sorted out with the help of the fantastic Ford dealership there. Hey everybody, I have got the DEF system issue resolved. Stopped by Hag Ford, H-A-A-G, Hag Ford. It's in Lawrenceburg, Indiana. So it's right on the border of Ohio and Kentucky and Indiana, so not far from Cincinnati. I went inside. I met Will, the service writer at the Ford dealership there. Very happy with his customer service and all the things. I went back and talked with him. I went back and talked to the diesel technician, told him the issues I had. So I had no codes. I have a code reader that enables me to read the codes by plugging into the port there. I had no codes on the truck. It was just the diesel exhaust system failure put me in limp mode. Limp meaning it can only go up to 50 miles an hour. And Ford does 50. Some of the other dealerships do or some of the other manufacturers do 5 or 10 miles per hour. So it's really, really kind of sucky. But anyway, they had it back there for about an hour and a half. I was on the phone doing some other business work and doing some things like that. And they called me back and said, "Hey, did you have any check engine lights? Did you clear anything?" And I told them exactly what I had done. I disconnected the batteries. I tried to do the manual regen myself. I couldn't exactly remember the process. I tried to do it the best I could to remember it, but it didn't work exactly the way it should have. So anyway, he said, "I don't know. I need to keep it overnight." So they kept it overnight, gave me a ride back to the rig. I stayed overnight. So around lunchtime today, they gave me a call and said they had it sorted out. But the service system, I'm just going to read you what it says. Customer states vehicle is in reduced power with DEF fault light illuminated. Technician verified concern, retrieved the DTCs, which is your engine warning codes or check engine lights, and found none currently present. Technician performed a redundant dosing module measurement test and test passed with DEF injector spray in correct quantity. So one of my other fears was that I had used some subpar DEF fluid causing the crystallization of the DEF fluid going into the exhaust, and that is backed up and wasn't spraying right. But that would have also given you a fault if the sprayer was messed up. So there were no check engine lights and no faults. The technician then performed a road test and found the DEF line pressure below 1 psi. Technician then performed refill activation of the DEF system, and then DEF line pressure went to correct 70 psi, and light remains illuminated on the instrument. IPC instrument, something, whatever that means. Technician brought the vehicle back to the dealer and then performed a PCM, PM, sensor module, TCM, and GPCM updates to the latest calibration. Technician then performed manual regen and brought the soot accumulation to 4%, and the DEF light removed itself from the instrument panel, and technician reset the SCR parameter and DEF parameters, and then technician performed further road tests to determine it was resolved. So basically a software update and a manual regen was what happened. It cost me about $500 to get that done. So I'm glad to have it corrected. I'm glad to have it sorted out. I'm glad to have all the updates done, and I'm very happy with the customer service there. That's an expensive thing to have done, so I don't know how to prevent it. But this truck's 100 I'm close to 120,000 miles, 7 years old. I have done back and forth about DEF, and that's one of the things I want to talk about here is Blue DEF made by Peak has a Blue DEF normal. You can buy it at Sam's and Walmart and other Costco's and things like that. Truck stop DEF, meaning the one you get out of the handle and put in there. Sometimes the people say that's more fresh. Sometimes the ones in the box are more fresh. You just need to look at, there's a Julian date you got to figure out on the side to make sure it's fresh and current and up to date, not something that's been sitting on the shelf for a couple of years. Walmart had some on sale. I bought that on sale. I've had it in all the things. So I'm not displeased with anything that I've ever used. I thought maybe that was the issue, but turns out it was a software thing, and the parameters on there, over time, need to get recalibrated. So software basically update and recalibration of the system, and I'm now back on the road. So hopefully this lasts. And the new truck is ready. It's been built. It's just got to get shipped from the factory to the dealership, and we'll pick it up soon. And hopefully I'll have a video on all that. So thanks for joining, everybody. Have a great day. One more interesting fact or thing that I have not yet done prior to this, but will do going forward is I chatted with the folks at the new dealership, or where the new truck is down in Texas, and I was asking them about the DEF system and just I'm a host of other questions about the truck and things we're going to do to it. But their lead technician, Hoss, Hoss, he recommended that I only use Motorcraft DEF fluid. And I said, why? And he said, well, I've had all the brands, I've had all the things done, and that has been the one that I found the best. He said, Ford screws a lot of stuff up, but their filter systems and their depth fluids and their other things like that are exceptional quality. So I've never used Motorcraft except for what was put in it from the factory and what may have been put in it at a service appointment at the dealership. But he said, you come in to get your new truck, and he said, as long as it's under warranty, I would recommend using only Ford things. So that's what I will be doing going forward. And I'll talk about all that when we get the new truck. So stay tuned for that. With the truck back in action, Brad and Piper continued their adventure, stopping at the historic Buffalo Trace Distillery for a taste of some Kentucky bourbon, followed by visits to Camp Nelson Historic Park and Mill Springs National Monument. Each of those stops offered a unique glimpse into America's rich history, from the Civil War battles to the craftsmanship of bourbon distilling. Piper and I then made our way down towards Mammoth Cave. We didn't actually visit the park, we just stayed at the RV park there. Finally, we arrived at our dear friends Pat and Tracy's new home. We were there boondocking with them for a couple of days, and it was such a wonderful time to catch up and tour their beautiful new house, still during construction. Our journey through Ohio and beyond has been filled with history, challenges, and cherished moments with friends. Welcome back to you. A few days later, Blair made her way back to us and promptly snuggled with Piper on the floor.